What's up, guys? Today we're installing a catalytic converter guard for the TRX. These are manufactured from 3/16 aluminum and powder coated black. This one specifically sits on the left side of the vehicle, and there is also another catalytic converter on the right side. So we'll do this install first, and then we'll move on to the right side. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is raise the truck and climb under the driver's side. Once you're under the driver's side, you need to identify there's a hole under here that you're going to be installing a 5/16 rib nut. This rib nut is supplied. You just need the tool. Now, every tool looks different. We'll show you what we use on online, and we'll give you the link and all that. This one here is special. It's an electric rib nut tool. Now, for this one, we're going to thread on our rib nut, and we're going to insert the rib nut into this hole down here. And then we're going to install it right inside. It's real simple. Okay, so next you're going to grab a ratchet wrench with a 5/8 inch socket on it. We like deep wells, but you can get whatever socket you need. And we're going to slide underneath and remove the two 5/8 bolts that hold that front skid plate on the driver's side. All right, so once you've got those front two bolts removed with the 5/8 heads, you're going to take your metric, your M10 bolts. These ones are really special. They have a security head on them. And you're going to loosely thread them into those two spots you just had removed the bolts at. You want to push the bolts through the bottom of the cat guard and then thread them into the vehicle themselves. Now, we're just doing it loosely for now. Because we're going to move to the backside and locate one more hole before moving on. All right, so once you got those two front bolts in, move to the back and grab a 5/16 security bolt. We're using a 5/16 washer on it as well. And just loosely thread it into that rib nut you had installed earlier. It's going to go through the cat guard and mount right into that rib nut. And again, you're just doing this loose. You're just kind of positioning everything for the last bolt that you're going to mark and drill. There you go. All right, so you have your cat guard installed so far loosely on the vehicle. You're gonna wanna grab a Sharpie and mark the last hole onto the transmission cross member. We're gonna mark right through the hole onto the vehicle and then remove the cat guard. We're gonna drill that hole, or that spot you just marked, drill it out with a 1/4 inch bit and then move on up to a 17/32. That's gonna make the hole big enough for a 5/16 rib nut. Okay, so I got that hole marked. I'm gonna roll on underneath and remove those 3 bolts from that are holding the cat guard on kind of temporarily. And we're gonna drill that hole that we talked about earlier. All right, so now we're gonna install a 5/16 rib nut into the hole we just drilled. Again, that hole was a 17/32. If you need to, you can buy that drill online. Alternatively, people will buy a 1/2 inch drill bit and then just use a Dremel tool to bore it out slightly to a 17/32. It's just a little bigger than a 1/2 inch, but it's usually safe to go with a 17/32. So now I'm going to install this right under the car. Now we're ready to install the cat guard. We're going to take our M10 bolts and we're going to dab a little bit of blue Loctite on the tips, on the threads here. We're going to do that with all the bolts today, so just for reference, use a little bit of blue Loctite on the threads. And we're going to use 15mm spacers. Subject to change, but 15 seems to be the most ideal spacer size. We're going to space it, the front of the cat guard down just slightly. So this is going to go between the cat guard and the existing mounting point on the vehicle. And then your cat guard goes underneath and your bolt mounts underneath that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, after the first two front bolts, the metric bolts, you're going to install a 5/16 bolt toward the rear at that angled portion on the cat guard. Apply your blue Loctite right on the end of the threads, just like before. And then you're going to be using a small 5/16 washer that we supply to mount it. Just want to sit it just under the head of the bolt. So the last bolt that we're installing is the 5/16 security bolt as well. It's only an inch long, but this one we're going to use a larger washer that comes in the kit. Keep in mind that when I'm installing these, I'm just installing them all kind of loosely or hand tight at this point, and then I'm going to come back and tighten them all down until they feel good. When I say feel good, maybe feel pretty snug. You want to make sure the whole cat guard is seated up against the vehicle. Alright, so once we got the cat guard installed, all the bolts are loose or at least hand tight on there, and our blue thread locker applied to the ends of the threads, we can tighten each bolt. So the back two bolts are going to use the supplied security bit, and this bit slides into a 1/4 inch socket. And at the front, we're going to use also the security bit that's supplied, and this one's going to slide into a 5/16 socket. So I'm just going to slide under there and snug them all up until they feel real good. I'll kind of bounce between all four just to make sure that they all feel secure. Alright guys, so we finished the left, and my audio actually cut out for this one specifically in this video. So we're moving on to the right side catalytic converter guard, and it actually mounts up exactly in the same way as the left side. You got the two bolts in the front, the one you got to drill out, and then the one that mounts up to the side of the vehicle, and you're going to do it in exactly the same manner. Installation is exactly the same as the left side. Just follow the same procedure and you'll get it done.